What's cracking, y'all? You are now watching Boo TV. Appreciate you for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified, and let's get into the topic for today. What's cracking? What's cracking? Back into my top 10 role players of all time. I've kind of been slacking with this list because I've been focusing on other content, but I'm back and ready to continue my ranking. So just to let you guys know, so far I've had Steve Kerr at number 10, Bruce Bowen at number 9, Lamar Odom at number 8, Danny Ainge at number 7, and here we are, number 6 in my top 10 role players of all time, the boy, Toni Kukoč. Toni Kukoč is Croatian, and before he came into the NBA, he was basically a EuroLeague sensation. Very, 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 very prominent, very, very, very successful European basketball player. Toni Kukoč was nicknamed the Waiter because the guy had an exceptional talent for passing the basketball and serving players in positions to score easily. His natural position was small forward at 6'11". He was tall and versatile. He played a lot of different positions, and his skill set allowed him to do that because he was just so damn versatile. I mean, you could almost look at Toni Kukoč as the poor man's Larry Bird. And I mean that respectfully, considering how great Larry Bird was. Toni Kukoč had a similar skill set, but at a lower level than Bird. Just running down the basics about Toni Kukoč. Like I said, he was Croatian, about 6'11", about 235 pounds. Toni Kukoč was drafted in the 1990 season, second round, 29th overall pick, but he would not report to the Chicago Bulls until the 93-94 season. Bear in mind, that was right after Michael Jordan retired. So he did get to play with Jordan initially, and he was very sad about that because he was adamant about getting a chance to play with Michael Jordan. All right, including his Euro career up until he retired in the NBA, Kukoč played from 1985 to 2006. Incredible. Like I said, small forward, but was versatile and could play multiple positions and multiple roles. All right. He played with the Chicago Bulls from 93 to the year 2000. Then from 2000 to 2001, he played with the Philadelphia 76ers. 2001 and 2002, Atlanta Hawks. And 02 to 06, the Milwaukee Bucks. We all know Toni Kukoč is a three-time champion with the Chicago Bulls, a member of the second three-peat, won NBA Sixth Man of the Year in 1996, made the NBA All-Rookie Second Team in 1994. And just to take that's about it for his NBA accolades. But take a look at what this guy did in the EuroLeague. Now, I usually don't do this, but he was so phenomenal that I have to talk about it. And it speaks volumes as to why the Chicago Bulls drafted him so early. All right. Three-time EuroLeague champion, three-time EuroLeague Final Four MVP, EuroLeague Finals top scorer, two-time FIBA European selection, 50 greatest EuroLeague contributors, two-time Triple Crown winner, Italian League champion, Italian Cup winner, four-time Yugoslav League champion, two-time Yugoslav Cup winner, five-time Euroscar Player of the Year, four-time Mr. Europa Player of the Year, three-time Croatian Sportsman of the Year, Franjo Bucar State Award for Sport, FIBA World Championship MVP, FIBA Eurobasket MVP, FIBA Under-19 World Cup MVP, FIBA Under-18 European Championship MVP, FIBA's 50 greatest players. That was long-winded, and I'm out of breath. On his NBA career, Toni Kukoč averaged over 11 points per game for 9,810 points, over 4 rebounds per game for 3,555 rebounds, and damn near 4 assists per game for 3,119 assists. Coming into the league, without Jordan, Toni Kukoč was coming off the bench for Scottie Pippen. And he quickly put the league on alert, or made his presence be felt, because he was a phenomenal player, and Phil Jackson really relished what he how he can contribute to the team off the bench. And he made it known in his rookie season that he had the kahunas. He could be relied upon in clutch situations. You know, his palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms is heavy, there's vomit on his sweater already, mom's spaghetti. That's how some people are when it comes to clutch moments. But Toni Kukoč, against a game, or in a game against the Indiana Pacers, down 2, hit a three-point jumper at the buzzer with less than a second left after an inbound play from Scottie Pippen to secure the victory for the Chicago Bulls. And I say that because I segue into what would happen later in that season in the playoffs, Game 3, Eastern Conference Semis. We all know the story so well, where Phil Jackson designed the last play for Kukoč instead of Scottie Pippen, who was charged with inbounding the ball to Toni Kukoč. And Toni Kukoč ended up hitting a game-winning fadeaway jumper at the buzzer. But the fact that Phil Jackson chose his role player, Toni Kukoč, instead of his star player, Scottie Pippen, to hit the game winner, that angered Scottie. But I'm not going to get into that because we all know that whole story. It's been documented well, and it's been brought back to the light and focused on a lot when the Last Dance documentary dropped. So after after Horace Grant left, it'd be nice if the Chicago Bulls had Grant Hill in the 90s. Now, after Horace Grant left, Toni Kukoč then got moved up, more responsibility, became a starter in the 94-95 season, and only second to Scottie Pippen. Kukoč led the Bulls in scoring, rebounding, and assists. Only second to Pippen. That's phenomenal. Especially including he was the second option. And then we all know Michael Jordan would eventually return to the Chicago Bulls late, going into the playoffs. And now Toni Kukoč had a chance to play with Michael Jeffrey Jordan. With the arrival of Michael Jordan and the Chicago Bulls getting a fresh start, starting the season with Mike after that loss to the Orlando Magic in the playoffs, starting the 95-96 season, Phil Jackson thought it was best to move Toni Kukoč back to the bench, considering they had Jordan. They now have Dennis Rodman holding down the paint, and they had Scottie Pippen. So he thought, and Phil Jackson, being the mastermind that he is, one of the greatest coaches of all time, said, hey, Toni, you're going back to the bench. You're going to lead our second unit, and then we'll filter you in with, starting players where I see fit. And just him having that ridiculous skill set that he has allowed that to happen so seamlessly. And Kukoč was down to do whatever the team needed. And he was third on the team in scoring behind Jordan and Pippen. And for that, he was able to nab that Sixth Man of the Year award. Toni Kukoč was the fourth player and is currently the last player to ever win NBA Sixth Man of the Year award and an NBA title in the same year. Joining the company of Kevin McHale, Bill Walton, and Bobby Jones. If you don't know who Bobby Jones is, go look at my Bobby Jones playlist. We're talking about Secondef, the Secretary of Defense. That boy was nasty, as was Kevin McHale and Bill Walton. Let's make no mistake about it. Toni Kukoč, I never really got to talk about his skill set as a player. Like I said, 6'11", Toni Kukoč could be whatever you needed and could do whatever you needed to do. I'm talking off the ball or on the ball. You could put the ball in Toni Kukoč's hand and have him create. And I'm telling you, he was called the waiter for a reason. I'm talking pick and rolls, screen plays, finding cutters. He would always put the ball where it needed to be to provide people with easy opportunities to score. He was nasty in that pick and roll, man. I'm telling you. Throwing alley-oops from the three-point line to Michael Jordan. No looks behind the backs. Left hand freaking bullets. He was a left-handed player. He's a southpaw. Toni was incredible. Could put the ball on the floor. Could create for himself. Had a post-game. Could shoot the mid-range. Fade away. Leaning. Ball handling. Could shoot the three ball phenomenally. And like I said, not just on ball, but off the ball, he could be that guy coming off the screen. He could be that guy spotting up for the jumper. He could be that guy moving without the basketball, setting screens, popping out, catching the ball, shooting, pump fake, bounce pass to the cutter. 6'11", bro. 6'11". Like I said, poor man's Larry Bird. So that's the only way I could put it, man. His mobility, his agility, and he could finish around the rim. I'm talking dunking on people. I'm not saying he was jumping out the gym like Mike, but he could throw a hammer down on you, bro, with contact, or finish with the reverse layup, left hand. I ain't making this up. I'm gonna have to do a Toni Kukoč reaction video soon, man. Make y'all believers, bro. Kukoč was a bad man. A bad man. And being that he played on that Chicago Bulls team, especially when Mike came, you know, you look at his numbers, they dip off from that last year without Mike when he was averaging 15 points per game, 4 rebounds, 5 assists. His point production dipped with the return, excuse me, with the return of Jordan. So for those 3 years with the second three-peat, he was right around 13 points per game, you know, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, 5 assists, something like that. But those numbers do not tell the whole story, and they do not describe or give you a proper depiction of this man's impact on the basketball floor and what he meant to that Chicago Bulls team. He was an integral part, man. Making the offense flow, that triangle offense. High IQ basketball player. But the minute the Chicago Bulls were more or less disbanded and Michael Jordan left, Toni Kukoč became, again, a more prominent figure in the offense. And Phil Jackson's gone as well, but he was averaging 18 points per game 2 seasons, his last 2 seasons with the Chicago Bulls. His first 98-99, 18 points per game, damn near 19, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. The year after that, 18, 5, and 5. His stints after that with the Philadelphia 76ers, Atlanta Hawks, Milwaukee Bucks would be more or less the decline of Toni Kukoč as a player and as far as his role was. But no mistake about it, his prime and his best years were with the Chicago Bulls. Now with the Atlanta Hawks, he did average almost 20 points per game, almost 6 assists, or he averaged almost 20 points per game, 6 assists and almost 6 rebounds. But he only played 17 games that season, but was logged in 36 minutes. So, you know, there was potential there where he could have had a real major breakout season. And he was shooting damn near 50% from the three-point line in that small sample size. I have to throw that out there. Toni Kukoč was incredible. What he did in Europe, what he did in the NBA, his versatility, how meaningful he was to that Chicago Bulls team, his dedication, his clutch abilities, his willingness to sacrifice, all that cannot be understated. Cannot. I'm firmly putting Toni Kukoč as my number 6 greatest role player of all time. Let me know what you think about it. Please feel free to add more context. I'm going to be doing a Toni Kukoč reaction video soon after this. For those of you that didn't get a chance to see him play, we can hang out, watch some highlights together, and remember the great player that Toni Kukoč was, all right? Appreciate you guys. Thanks for stopping in. Like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell, stay notified. And I catch you on the next one. We out, baby.